Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and what we have for tonight is carrying on with our special request from Matt Ferrari for the Cavalry for Kings of War Undead. Here's what we've got so far. The horse is done. It probably looks a little bit odd at the moment, but give me a chance. Let's get this fella finished before we think of how odd he's looking. So, what we want to do first is we need to get some paint on our palette, and we want a base coat for gold. Now, in the past I've used tin bits, I can't remember what it's called now, but I have discovered one that is even better. Well, not even better, but just as good for gold, which is Balthazar gold. So I'm going to use this one first to go over the armour. And pop it on our wet palette. And oops. We'll just go over all the metal areas of the armour in this colour. I hope I'm doing a good enough job. I've just noticed this is the awkward thing about some minis. You think that it's actually I'm going to have to go and get a knife. I won't be a second. Anyway, as I was saying, you think that you've got everything, and then you start painting and you see there's bits that's been missed. A little bit of flashing here on the shoulder. As I say, it can be a little bit irritating when you've realised you've missed it, but it's not that big a deal to shift. It's just that it would have been so much easier if I'd have found it beforehand. Just a little bit more to come off. That'll do. Okay, so let's pop you back on your seat and get back to the painting. Oops. A little bit watery, so let's just some more paint on our brush. There we go. And as I say, everywhere here that is metal is going to get coated with this. It's also going to get a wash very soon, and then won't be highlighted. But I don't know what I was going to say then. It's gone. Now, as you can see, I'm not really making much of a fuss of where I'm putting this paint, because if I've gone over somewhere that shouldn't have been done, like everything else, I can always go back and cover up and correct any mistakes I make. Not that when we're painting we make mistakes, we just have, as a wise man once said, happy accidents. But as I said, there are some areas that's going to be metal, other areas that are cloth, others this leather. It's just trying to pick out the right areas to paint, and I'm hoping I've picked out the right areas. So I don't have any image to work from this, because there's no image on the website except a very small one. That I've seen anyway. I'm now going to just do this area as well in this Balthazar gold. And so you will see differences in the different metals when I come to highlight, so don't panic, it's not going to look all the same. Right, so that's the armour done. No, it's not, I've got his legs to do yet. Duh. I had a senior moment. So on the I'm not sure whether that's armour or not, but I'll paint it gold. As you can see, you can still see the grey primer through this gold, so it's not thick, it's not going on thick at all, it's going on very watery, quite like a wash. There we are. Next, I'm going to have to go for a little bit more of that, because I just scraped some off with my thumb. I was just trying to press it back down onto the little base I have, which is quite conveniently an old empty paint pot. Okay, so that's done. Next, what I want to do is, using the old favourite, what I usually use when I can find it, which is Rune Lord Brass, I think. No, it's not. Warplot Bronze, that was it. I knew it was something like something. So it's Warplock Bronze, that's the one we're using this time. And this one is just for the blade, so I'm going to take this just straight out of the pot. We don't have much to paint on this. So it's just going to be straight on the blade. And I'm going to be playing about with different coloured washes on this one rather than doing a straight brown wash. Yeah, that's the blade done. Okay, that didn't take too long. Next, what we're going to be using is Altdorf Gerd Blue. And for a change, the first one I pick up, Altdorf Gerd Blue. Just trying to find an area where I can actually show it without the light shining on it. And this, once again, is going to be shall we say undiluted. Not undiluted, unmixed with anything else. It's just straight Altdorf Gerd Blue, but taken from our wet palette, so it is going to be watered down. It's going to go on like a wash. I'll probably end up doing a couple of coats of this. Like so. Oops. Sorry about that, I thought I was on camera then. There we are. Now in this I'm just going to do the main body of the figure with this one. I will leave the banner for another day in another video. There we go. And down here as well. I will have to take this off the for a few seconds just while I do on these parts with the Altdorf Gerd Blue, because the one thing you don't want to see is the primer on a finished model. I think I just should have done a bit more whatchamacallit as well, a bit more of the goldy colour. I need a much finer brush to do a little part here. There we are. I'm just wondering as to whether or not that is in fact I think it is that area that I said. I wasn't sure whether it was cloth or metal. It is actually the cloth, so I'm going to go over that now. Just like so. And just make sure, just go around and make sure that you've got everywhere that should be this blue. I'm not sure about under there, but I'm going to do it blue anyway because I can't see any ribs or anything, so I don't think it's going to be some form of skeleton look. I'm also, what did I say I'd missed? I was just going to quickly touch up the feet and this leg here. Just to be on the safe side. As I said, we don't want to see the grey primer as he sat on his horse. Alrighty then, so that's that bit done. The next bit we're looking at is the belts, and for that I'm going to be using a little bit of the dryad bark mixed in with a little bit of the Altdorf Guard blue. We don't need all that much. And there's no other reason for than of picking these two colours and mixing them together than it just seemed like a good idea at the time. And again, we apply it similar to a wash. So that one there, and we'll do one here as well because it looks like a belt. And if there's somewhere else that needed a touch up with the gold colour, I'll do that now, and that's here. Just like so. Now for different parts of this it's going to get different whatchamacallit, different coloured washes. So that's it for the painting side of this model for the time being. Now it's time for washes. First of all, Nuln Oil is not going to be used, so I'll put that back. What we're going to be using is a Druchite Violet. Yes. So we're going to pick our areas where we're going to be painting this. Okay. Okay, so the Drucci I've out, this is the one that's going to be going on the bottom areas of the metal. This is going to be like a shadow colour. Now, I'm not saying this is the way that Mantic painted those. This is, I cannot actually see how Mantic did the under arms and whatever of the models, but this is how I'm doing mine. And I think I can do more of that when he's actually sat on his horse. Next we're going to be using Carroburg Crimson, and this is the one we're going to be using as like the main body of wash for his armour. So everywhere is going to get a wash of this. I want it like a reddish colour. Very reddish gold. You're not going to see much of a difference. I'm not going to see much of this red when it's dried, obviously, because it's going to be just the shadow areas that is done in this colour, but we tinge the whole of it in this colour and then pick out the shadow, or pick out the details later. That's how we work with washes. These are the bits that put the shadow areas in, pick out the details. Like so. And if doing this, it mixes in with the purple, all well and good. Okay. So that's that bit done. As you can see, it gives an interesting colour to the gold. At least I hope you can see that. Next we're going to be using Agrax Earthshade, and that will be for the blade. Well, it'll be for the sword in its entirety, to be honest. So we want different shades of gold for this model. Well, 50 shades of gold rather than 50. Oops, a little bit of belt area that I forgot to do. I'll just wash up my brush, get my fine brush back again, and get back into that leather colour that we used. Because we have this area here to do. I'm not really too fussed about doing the buckles. I know I did this on that one, but I can always go back over it because I can put it in a greater detail later. Next, what we want to do is using when I can find it, Dragonoff Nightshade. Surprisingly enough, this is going to be for the robes. And all over. As you can see, I've not put a great a full wash on that. You can still see a lot of the grey coming through, or showing through the thing. I didn't want to, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't want to lose any of that, because let's face it, it's supposed to be undead. These are supposed to be rags, not nicely tailored off the peg robes. These are the kind of robes that have seen battle, probably sun bleached, buried in it, brought back to life, or unlife, whatever. You know, so there's going to be some fading along the way. There we are. And that is him base coated and washed. As I say, I'm going to do the banner in another video, but for now that's all we can do until the wash is dry. So I hope you're enjoying the sofa mat. Remember, this series of videos is brought to you by Ferrari, who requested me to do a series showing how I would paint them in the Mantic colours. I've just noticed there's something else I've missed, so what I'm going to do is not use that one. I'm going to use, when I can find it, I'm going to use Wazdaka Red, which is that one. I'm going to use this because there's a little like seal on the armour. I don't exactly know what it is, but going back to my days of collecting and painting Warhammer 40k minis, I don't know whether it's a clasp of some description, but I'm going to paint that bit like a dark red, and then when I come back we'll highlight it with a paler red, almost an orangey red. But that's when we come back and I start doing the highlights, and if we've got time at the end of it we will do the banner. If not, the banner will have its own video. But that is what we've got so far. Not quite. I did say we weren't using Null Oil. We are. I just realised there's one part that I haven't done that I can't really get to with paint. I'm going to just wash, and that is around his neck. It's just going to be a wash of Null Oil all the way around there. Just to darken it down, that's it, nothing more. Okay, so that's it for this video. Once again, I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, as always, take care, God bless, and bye for now.